Welcome to Personal Mastery Training. I'm your host, Alvin Brown, former world-class athlete turned entrepreneur and consultant. Join us as we learn from guests who have conquered their inner battles and share their journeys to success. Get ready for inspirational masterclasses and thought-provoking strategy sessions to fuel your path to personal mastery. Let's dive. All right, welcome to another strategy episode. This one I'm going to call Mindful Mastery. Shifting your focus from concern to influence. And this, I have to give credit to Stephen Covey. He has online, you will see it, two circles. And I want you to picture it. And there's an outer circle and there's an inner circle. And on the outer circle, on one diagram, he shows a reactive. You're in reactive mode. And that, the inner circle, is your circle of influence, things you have influence on. And the outer circle is the circle of concern, things you're concerned about. And the goal here is that we work on mastery to push the inner circle, the circle of influence, the things you have influence on. We make that larger so it basically squeezes out and narrows the lines between, the space between your circle of influence and your circle of concern. You follow me? So here, let me expand on it a little bit more. When we are concerned, especially today, and this is why I'm motivated to share this today. When we are so concerned with everything going on in this world today, it can seem kind of crazy. It can really throw you off your game of mastery, personal mastery, controlling the inner critic, the inner narrator, all those messages inside your head. In order for us to master it, we have to start to put the focus, move from reactive mode to the second diagram, proactive, where your circle of influence is growing so much that it eliminates the noise from the circle of concern. Because you see, today, in today's world, it's now 2023, October. There's a lot going on out in the world that are out of your control. You can't control humans. We are the loose cannon, the variable in the equation that can't be controlled. All we can do is control our reaction to it. And of course, I'm not eliminating taking steps towards helping. But this idea of being overwhelmed, especially in today's world with the internet, social media, I'm not one that's going against social media or the various technology. I will never say anything negative because there's some parts that are great. You just have to learn to master it and not let it master you. Because getting rid of it doesn't get rid of the psychology that's causing us to lose control. I'd rather stay in the game. It's almost like I say to people. I've known someone who went away, one of my clients, she went away to a small island and started doing yoga. She stayed there. She was on a journey herself, and she went there for a couple of years. Didn't have any money, she was young and just went off to find herself, going through a lot of mental struggles and went to find herself. And she would often send me messages asking for money or some contribution to a greater cause and so on and so on. And then one day she decided she wanted to come back to here, to the world again, away from this retreat, this compound. And she wanted to come back and dive into work and build her career again. And she couldn't, after 2 years or more, she couldn't deal with the world anymore. She couldn't talk to people. She couldn't interact. She couldn't deal with what's going on. So this is when I discovered that it's nice to go into that place of where you isolate yourself. That's nice. However, that's not the real world. The world, the real world, real life is filled with struggles. It's filled with challenges. And we're going to have to learn to deal with them. So going away, as nice as that would be for all of us, to step away from the noise. And every so often, I think you need to actually. But to totally go away from it and saying, I'm done with the world, I'm going to go find my cave and hide. The problem is it doesn't last forever. And we have to come back and deal with this, the reality we are dealing with right now. So how do you do that? How do you master that? It's almost like learning martial arts. When you're learning martial arts and you're going through patterns and kata, you see it online, the pretend the guy comes behind and you're supposed to grab the hand, you're supposed to do, and when a real thing happens, you freak out. So what I'm getting at here is, in order to get that mindfulness mastery, shifting the focus from concern to influence. So start to think about the things you talk about all the time and you feel out of your control. The war, the various strifes going on around the world, the politics, the separation divide that the world is in right now. Should I do this? Should I do that? What side am I on? All those things are concerns. And they can overwhelm you. That circle, that outer circle of concern can push in and shrink your circle of influence, what you feel you have influence over. And that's when you lose your ability to deal with the world. That's when you get into chaos in your mindset. It starts to spill over into every part of your life. So I want you to move from, the goal here is, how do we move and push our circle of influence out far enough to shrink our circle of concern? That's the only way you're going to deal with life. Because let me tell you right now, I'm going through so many things in my own personal life. My son his health is at risk. And, I remember my health was at risk. And I just kept adhering to this rule that I must, to be there for them, to show up as a lighthouse in the storm myself. I have to take care of me. I have to put my focus on what I can have influence over, not the things that are out of my control, which is the politics. And, when I review and go back and look at time, so we just went through the pandemic, we just went through divide, and so many things go on. The government, there's so many things that went on 2 to 3 years ago and still going on now. Verge of war, all of that kind of thing. Guess what? 30 years ago in the 1990s, when I was remembering, we're on the verge of Gulf War. We were on the verge of pandemic, the AIDS. We were on the verge of racial tension. We're on the verge of so many things constantly, but it passes. Humans are that variable that you can't control, that just keeps creating these chaos times. And if you want to survive today, you must start to put your focus on the areas of influence. What are you directly influencing? Your mind, your body, and your spirit. So what's your practice? Journaling, getting from your day and don't get through it. Your family, the people close to you, your profession, your passion projects. There's so many things to do in life. To be able to be distracted and put our focus on things we can't control is just a recipe for disaster. So think about it. Think about those two circles right now in your life. Where is your focus? The circle of concern, things that are out of your control. I'm concerned about the war. I'm concerned about the world. I'm concerned about the climate. I'm concerned. Or is it on things you can control? Your mind, your body, your spirit, and the actions you take. So if you want to make a difference, I'm not saying to clue out here and not make a difference, not make an impact. But I just find everyone's so concerned with everything outside themselves that they become fight, and freeze, do nothing. And what good is that serving? Who is that serving? No one. So the best thing, I love this quote. The best thing you can do for the poor is not become one of them. Well, poor doesn't always mean money. Being poor in mindset, poor in this, is not become one of them. So if you know someone who is focused on everything outside of themselves and is losing control, maybe they need to hear this message. Maybe from me, maybe from you. Transfer the information. Like, subscribe, and please share. Let's build this community. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about helping as many people as we can to bring back some hope that we're going to make it. Because without hope, we are done. All right. Until next time, put your focus back on what you influence, and let's phase out. Let's make it narrow. There's always going to be some concern, but make it narrow and not so. Don't let it squeeze in on you. We need you here. All right. Until next time. Peace and love.